What's up guys? So in today's video, I'm gonna talk you through starting an online business from A to Z. So this is a joint operation I did with Jim Hart. We both want to do a video for both of our audiences. And so something Jim told me that would be of interest to you guys is knowing exactly what to do, what to say, how to do it, how to market, how to create your offer, all those things. So we're gonna go through it to today's channel. But before I do, just make sure that obviously you're subscribed to Jim's channel and then make sure you're subscribed to mine so that we can continue giving you guys awesome value. And as I go through this video, if you want to see anything that has to do with my business, you can go to elitecos.com and check out all our testimonials and things we do. The first thing you need to make sure you do is create a power offer. Now, there's a lot of different offers you can do. What I typically recommend is doing something that is service-based. Now, there's a reason for this. When you're a beginner, you usually have very little experience, very little time, very little money. You may even be working another job while starting your business. And so the best businesses to start are the ones that don't considerably take a lot of money or a lot of upfront costs or have bad margins. Service-based businesses, when you start, are 100% profit, right? So if I go sell someone a service on how to do a handstand, how to get in shape, how to build their business, how to grow a YouTube channel, etc., it's awesome. Because at the end of the day, you're able to create massive margins, right? And you don't have to go create products or manufacturing or suppliers. It's super, super easy. Now, you're gonna think, where do I start? What do I do? Now, one of the easiest things to do is build a business around something you've done at your 9-to-5 job, in your sport career, something of that nature. If you are in the tech industry, you could create an offer around how to create an app or how to create tech, right? If you were a trainer like I was, you could create an offer around how to be a personal trainer. If you have been in the marketing business, you could teach someone how to market their business, right? It doesn't have to be super complicated. Now, if you feel you don't have a skill or you're not sure where to start, the best thing to do is to create a business inside the health, wealth, or relationship sector. If you think about it, the reason for that is everyone wants more health, everyone wants more wealth, and everyone wants better relationships, and that's the reason for it. So if you're someone who is trying to decide on the offer, I would highly consider starting there. What I see a lot of people do is they start with a bad offer, they start with something that nobody wants, and then when they go to market it, they put all this work in and it doesn't work out. Okay, so the first thing you gotta understand is when it comes to starting an online business, a profitable business, you wanna start with something service-based and then make sure it's in the health, wealth, or relationship sector, and you're gonna be off to a great start. Now, the next step after that is then to get your first client. So a lot of people will come to me and think, Tanner, I have to build out this entire product first. You actually don't, right? As weird as that sounds, you actually don't. All you actually have to do is get your first client, and I'm gonna show you and explain why. If you have an Instagram or Facebook, like I'm sure all of us do, one of the easiest things to do to start is to go hit the lowest hanging fruit. So your friends, your followers, people have been following you for a long time, but maybe you've never offered a service to before. This is literally how I took my business from 0 to 50K in a month. And then I actually did over 100K my first 90 days of my online business. I literally just went on Instagram. I started messaging people. At the time I had an older Instagram account. You can look it up, it's called Official Tanner Chidester. It's my old Instagram account. And I messaged people and got them on a phone call. Now, what to say, how to say, I'll go through that in just a second, but I got them to a call and I sold a $3,000 to $4,000 training program for 3 to 4 months. And so I went from making $3,000 in a month to, in my first week of doing that, I made 10 grand, and then you multiply that by 4 and I was consistently doing $30,000 to $50,000 a month. Just from that, no ads, no crazy marketing, no website, a lot of stuff that you guys think you need, you actually don't need it to start. You just have to start messaging people and get them to a call. So that takes me to the next part is you're gonna start asking, okay, well, what do I say in the messages? Now, this is a much longer train. This is one of the biggest things I go through in my coaching program with clients, but in very simple form, I'll kind of walk you through it. So you may reach out, and these are your easiest people to convert. So these are people, let's say, who are already following you. Now, if they're not following you and you're sending what's called a cold DM, so someone who doesn't know you at all, you'll change it up a little bit, but it's gonna follow the same premise. So what you would do is you'd reach out and say, hey, I saw you're following me. I wanted to see what your goal was, right? Because if I have a page and I'm doing personal training, or you have a page and you're posting about a different type of service, obviously if they're following you, they're somewhat interested, okay? Now, once I would say that, I'd say, hey, you know, what's your goal? They'd tell me. I say, okay, so what are you struggling with? They tell me, what have you tried before? Okay, have you ever had a coach? On a scale 1 to 10, how serious are you physically, financially, and mentally? And I'd be going through all these things, right? And so as I'm getting to the end, I finally will go, okay, awesome. So, you know, I do this fitness stuff all day long. If you're serious about it, we can book a call and talk, right? And I'd push them to a phone call. They'd say yes. And then would send them a link and say, hey, look, I need you to fill this out in the next 5 minutes before the link expires. I'd set up a link that would expire within 30 minutes. I still do that to this day. And we'd send it to them and they'd book a call. If you want more training on that, you can go to elitecos.com, check out some of the stuff I do. But in simple form, that was the structure I'd walk them through. And over the years, we have more SOPs and things of that nature, but that's the simple form. Now, once they're on the phone call, right? Once you have sent them a link and they've booked a phone call, again, there's a lot of stuff that goes through the sales call, but I'm gonna walk you through kind of a simple way you can take a call. Now, easily, the first thing is to pre-frame. So pre-framing would just be, hey, welcome to the call. On the call, we're gonna try to figure out what your goal is, what you're struggling with, what we can do to help you. And by the end of the call, all I'm gonna ask is that you can give me a yes or no answer. Yes means you wanna work with me, no means you don't, right? And as long as you're cool doing that, then we can go through the call today. The reason you want that is, especially as a beginner, guys, a lot of people are gonna throw objections at you that you're not ready to handle, or you're not that good at handling yet. And so one of the easiest things to do is pre-frame the call by letting them know how the call is gonna go and what you're exactly expecting. So that's super, super important. Once you've done that and you've gone through that portion, you're gonna go through the call and start asking the questions. So like, hey, you know, what is your goal? What are you struggling with? What have you tried? What's the biggest pain point? You go through those. And once they've done that, you will then go into a part I call the 3 pillars. Now, the 3 pillars is just a fancy way of what your program does and what it's about. Okay, so in my program, I go, okay, cool. So here's what we're gonna focus on. And one of the first pillars we do in mine is I say, how to craft and package together your offer to assure you're not a commodity. So a lot of you watching this don't know what to do or what to sell. That's one of the main focuses in my program, right? Then we go through the second one, which is we teach you convergent conversations, which is a unique method of follow-up texts, emails, many chat messages, Facebook, you name it, that gets us a 50% higher conversion rate than a webinar. That may not make sense to some of you, but essentially what we're saying is we use a specific strategy that we call convergent conversations that increases our application rates by 50%. Well, if you can increase that by 50% and convince someone you can do that, obviously that makes sense. And they're like, wow, okay, cool, so what's next? And then the third thing I like to call is an authority play. Right? So the first 2 are about the program, and then the third one's an authority. And then that's where I'll throw myself in and say, so look, you know, there's a lot of people you can hire, but I've built a 7-figure B2C business. I built a 7-figure B2B business, and now we're doing over 8 figures annually, and I've done it in less than 3 years. I actually did that in less than 2 years. How many other people out there can say that? Hey, I'm the best coach because look at my results. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense to you guys. So pre-frame, questions, and then the 3 pillars. And then after that, you will briefly go into the program. When I say briefly, very briefly, because a lot of you may think that people care a lot what's in the program. They actually don't. What they care about is getting results. So you would just briefly go through and say, so you're gonna get this, 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 and this if you sign up, but obviously the goal is to get you these results, and that's what we're here to do. Right? Very simple. Once you do that, you go for the close. Closing is a whole nother video on itself, right? And I'm trying to be very thorough here so you guys can get a lot of value. In terms of that, what I would say is when you go for a close, give them a reason to close today. Okay, so again, you're a beginner, it takes more skill to close without doing this. So what I would say is, let's say you want to sell your program for $5,000. You may say, hey, so look, the normal price is typically $7,000, but as long as you can do something today, it's $5,000. And the reason I do that is 1, I'm trying to get you to make a decision, obviously. And then 2, is because the more money I can get up front for my business, the better it is for me, so I can market harder. And you just say whatever you want. It just has to make sense and it has to be truthful, right? Because if you push someone and you say something like, yeah, you can't ever come back, a lot of people don't believe that. And honestly, it's not truthful. If someone offered you money, you would probably take it. Hey, the normal price is $7,000, but if you pay in full, it's $5,000. Okay, stuff like that. So it gives them a reason to make a decision. Now, if they say no, there's a lot of ways to go through this, but what you wanna do is you go for the close, okay? They say no. you agree, then go back to their pain. So, hey, I totally get where you're coming from, but you said earlier in the call this, this, and this. And then once you've resolved that objection, you go back to the close. So again, that's a whole nother video in itself. If you guys need more help, feel free to reach out. But that is what I would do starting from scratch. So create your offer, create it in the health, wealth, or relationship sector, start messaging people, get them on a call, and then close them. And then on the phone call, you're actually taking their credit card. Now, there's a lot of different merchant services you can use to take payments. One is Stripe. The one I prefer is Wave, okay? It's Wave, and it's perfect for taking credit cards over the phone. All the legalities and legal stuff, the good news is like, this is Jim's channel, so Jim can help you guys with all the legalities and contracts, but that is how I do it. Going to the next portion of creating the business is now the fulfillment. So you have the client, and now you want to create the fulfillment. A lot of you are probably thinking, well, I have to have the course created before I ever sign someone up. You actually don't, and this is why. Because when you sign up your first client, you're gonna Zoom call with them. So you're gonna get on a call and you're gonna walk them through their first lesson. You're gonna show them exactly what to do, and you're gonna record it. And every single video you do with that client, you're gonna record it and put it in a membership portal. Now, one you could use is ClickFunnels. We also use Kajabi, and that's how you're gonna grow your coaching program. Okay, so what I would not do, please don't do it, is don't create the course first. It's a waste of time, because think about it, if you create this course and then you bring someone in, one, that you may not sell them, you're gonna struggle, so you just wasted all this time creating something you can't sell, and then two, they may go through it and there's questions they still have. So one of the best things you could do is record it, because they're gonna ask stuff you're not even thinking about, because they're a beginner in your expertise, just like you're a beginner starting your business. And then you can edit and make the video perfect, so the next clients come through and it's much easier. In my coaching program, we still give them some one-to-one support, we give group calls, we do some other things, but that's a much more efficient way. I didn't create stuff until I had clients. Once you have those clients, you're gonna rinse and repeat that process as many times as possible. Then as you get bigger, you throw in coaches and fulfillment and ads, and you start building your team. But for someone who's a beginner, you can literally get to a 6-figure business by simply creating your offer around your skill set. If you're not sure what that skill set is, do it in the health, wealth, or relationship sector. DM people on your social media profiles. It could be people who follow you, hashtags on Instagram, Facebook groups, doesn't matter, right? And if you need help with those skills, you can reach out. Get them on a sales call, close them, and then do the fulfillment. And then all you do from there is build the team around those processes, turn on ads, learn how to run them, and scale to the moon. So at this point in my business, we spend about $500,000 a month between Facebook and YouTube. We get about 100 to 150 clients a month at a 5-figure price point. And then I've built systems and SOPs all around it. So I hope that makes sense, guys. I hope that was helpful for you. If you need more information, you can subscribe to my channel, Tanner Chidester. There should be a link in the description below, and you can ask me anything you want, or go to eliteceos.com, which is me more information, more testimonials, and things that I do. So big shout out to Jim. Thanks for letting me put this on your channel. Make sure to go to my channel to check out his video that he posted for me. I appreciate the support, guys. Again, reach out if you have any questions whatsoever. I love doing this stuff, and I'll see you guys hopefully in another video.